In the quiet neighborhood of Maplewood Hills, 82-year-old Korean War veteran Thomas Briggs began every morning the same way. Rising early, saluting the American flag, he proudly flew outside his small home, and sipping black coffee in his rocking chair. To him, that flag wasn't just cloth. It was memory. It was honor. It was everything. One morning, Thomas found something new on his porch, a bright orange paper stapled to his wooden post.
Violation, une autorise de flagpole installation.
Immediate removal required. HOA board. He blinked, confused. He'd flown that flag for 12 years. What changed? Thomas called the HOA to ask why. The voice on the line was cold. Mr. Briggs, your flagpole isn't compliant with new HOA guidelines. You have 7 days. I fought for that flag, he said softly. We're not questioning your service, sir. Just the uniform look of the neighborhood. Thomas's daughter, Rebecca Briggs, heard the news during her lunch break. She was a lawyer, a single mom, and her father's fiercest protector. She rushed home furious. They want to take down your flag? They want to take me out of here, he replied. They said if I don't remove it, they'll start eviction proceedings. That night, Rebecca scoured the HOA bylaws and found something strange. The new flagpole restriction had been added after her father installed his. And worse, there was no record of a community vote. She knew what that meant. The rule might be illegal. At the next HOA meeting, Rebecca stormed in. Her father sat quietly beside her, wearing his old uniform jacket. Rebecca, your attempt to evict a decorated veteran over an American flag is both illegal and un-American. Linda Porter, the HOA president, scoffed. Rules are rules. Rebecca, you'll regret those words. That night, Rebecca took to social media. She posted a photo of her father saluting his flag with the caption, "My father, a war veteran, is being evicted by his HOA for flying the flag he fought for." Within hours, it went viral. By morning, news trucks lined the street. CNN, Fox, NBC. Reporters camped on the lawn. Veterans across the country rallied online under hashtag Flag for Thomas. Rebecca held a press conference on the porch. My father isn't moving. But the HOA? They should. The HOA board scrambled to contain the fallout. Sponsors pulled funding. Several residents demanded a board vote. Linda called an emergency session. But when protesters showed up with American flags, she canceled it. Meanwhile, Rebecca contacted a constitutional rights law firm. 2 days later, an eviction notice appeared, taped to Thomas's door. Rebecca marched it straight to the courthouse. The judge granted a temporary injunction. The HOA could not legally evict Thomas without proving harm to the community, which they couldn't. A week later, hundreds of veterans showed up at Maplewood Hills for a peaceful rally. They marched through the neighborhood, saluted Thomas's flag, and stood guard around his home overnight. The message was loud and clear. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Rebecca filed a federal discrimination lawsuit, Briggs versus Maplewood Hills HOA. The lawsuit argued the HOA violated her father's constitutional rights and state housing protection laws for veterans. HOA donations dried up. Residents resigned from the board. After 6 months of legal battles and national pressure, the HOA folded. They dropped the fines, repealed the flag rule, and paid damages.
Linda Porter resigned.
Thomas's home was declared permanently protected under a new Veterans Exemption Clause. Thomas still salutes the flag every morning. But now he does it with a smile, knowing his daughter fought for his right to keep flying it. Rebecca later said, "They tried to silence one old soldier, but they woke up a nation instead." Patriotism isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, like a flag on a porch. And sometimes, it takes a daughter's courage to remind the world what her father's sacrifice was truly worth.